Hi, Chris.
Hooray. Hey, Larry. How's it going?
I'm doing well, my friend. How are you?
Oh, I'm so glad to have you here in Chicago. It's just going to be the most fun time. I'm really excited about this whole project.
Well, you know how much I love Lyric Opera of Chicago, and I've been involved with the company now for several years, and having a great respect, obviously, for you and Anthony and Dan and all the people, at Lyric Opera. So being a part of this concert for me was a no-brainer because I know that they are doing more than just showing lip surface to this idea of trying to create diversity and to showcase, Black artistry. And so I'm just honored to be a part of this wonderful, wonderful concert that's being planned.
Well, Lyric Opera loves you, and the Ryan Opera Center loves you, and we're thrilled, to present this concert full of members of the Lyric family. I think this is going to be a beautiful thing for everyone to see.
Well,
So,
well, I mean, our relationship goes back many, 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 many years, close to 20 years, if I'm not mistaken.
indeed.
So we've known each other. Of course, we performed together several times in Chicago and outside of Chicago. And so around the United States, and, our friendship has matured and grown. And so I think there's nothing that pleases me more than sharing the stage with someone I admire as a performer and a person. So, I feel that way about you, but of course I should say it.
Well, I feel the same way. Are you kidding me? I feel so lucky to get to share the stage with you so many times and so many memorable concerts, and to, have audience after audience fall in love with you and see what that is really, really special. I remember meeting you for the first time at Wolf Trap like 20 years ago, in which
That's right.
I saw one of the funniest evenings of opera I think I've ever seen in my life.
Viva la Mamba!
Viva la Mamba, I know. And I remember afterwards, four of us took a car ride to New York at we left at 1 a.m. and got there in the middle of the night. And the laughter, I had laugh lines the next day from having smiled and laughed so much all the way back. So
Josh Wintergrade and you and myself, oh my gosh, that was memorable. We were all packed into a small car. I can't even remember whose car it was.
It was a rental car of mine. It was a rental car that and I was a kid, so it was like a teeny tiny car with 4 boys in it. It was
a clown car. But yeah, that was the beginning. Of course, we also reconnected was it Urbania?
Exactly.
Urbania, and I think that was the summer after, maybe.
Exactly, that sounds right.
So we reconnected then, and beginning of a long friendship and collaboration as performers, yes?
Indeed. Well, I was so happy, when I called you to ask about this concert, how you were happy just to come to Chicago. This is a time in which, having the courage to travel and the courage to put yourself out there it's not something to be underestimated as far as I'm concerned. To be generous in the way that you've been generous, to come to Chicago, have a COVID test, to jump through all of these hoops to appear, it means a lot to all of us. And I couldn't be more grateful that in the very beginning you were like, yes, I will come and do that.
Well, it's because I care about Lyric Opera of Chicago. Obviously, I've been, involved in many things on the stage, but, serving in some, in a capacity somewhat as a community ambassador and working, closely with Cayenne and you, and doing various things with Lyric Opera of Chicago. For me, it was a no-brainer. And so the fact that we're continuing on the work that is really important to me, I've been passionate about audience expansion, including, diversity, and just trying to get people to appreciate this art form that we love so much. We've talked about it, that it's important that any artistic institution is really representative of the people in that city. And so I, as an artist, want to be in the trenches and do all I can to help that initiative or those endeavors go forward. And so me being a part of this concert is just a continuation of the things that you and I have been talking about for many years already.
Well, that concert in this past October is truly one of the highlights of my time at Lyric. It was such a special evening, and I felt so fortunate to be included in that music making and in that event. It was incredibly meaningful, and to see such a diverse audience in the beautiful lobby of the Opera of Chicago, and to feel those people connected through your vision for what that concert could be was really, really special. So when it came time for this project, after the events in Chicago for the last month, I thought, what better way for us to show something special than to continue that work from last October, because I think that's the future for all of us, and it should be the future. You are an artist that is admired by every single person that I know, and I can say that, you know, that can be an unusual thing. But last week, you know, I was recording with Will and Janae, and we had a really fun evening, and the love that they have for you and the way that we talk about you and that they look up to you as a hero and someone that they admire. They want their career to be as successful as yours, but you know, they look to you as a real example of how to do it right. And I am the same. Like, I am full of admiration for all the things that you do so brilliantly, that you know, take the time to speak all the languages brilliantly, and that you've put in tremendous effort to have the kind of success that you've had. And I love that through this concert, we can show that virtuosity and that brilliance to our audiences.
Well, I think the concert that you were such a big part of in October of last year it blew the minds of everyone that were involved in, you know, putting it together, but also the audience. The response and just the warm feeling that was palpable in that room that evening. Yeah. You know, so many people from Anthony down and said that this is something that needs to be repeated. So the next chapter is a continuation of that. And I think everyone's eyes were widened, and everyone was like, okay, this is an initiative that we have to continue. And so, of course, as I call them, my little brothers and sisters, Will and Whitney and Janae, you know, I am so elated by what they're doing in this business. And I am so happy to be able to, with you, feature them. And of course, you know, Lyric Opera of Chicago has already made a tremendous investment in their lives and their careers, and giving them the opportunities to invite them back. And so them coming back home had to be a part of this. And so I can't wait to be able to present them again to the Lyric Opera.
Well, we are so proud of those three alums. I mean, Whitney and Janae and Will have they light it up when they go on stage every time. And, you know, for me, having worked with them when they were in the Rhine Opera Center, to see what they have achieved in a relatively short time since they left the program has been really special and a source of tremendous pride for all of us. I was thinking about that concert in the fall as you were talking just now, and when Solomon Howard told me he wanted to sing Superstition of Stevie Wonder, I thought, of all the different styles I've had to play in my life, I haven't played much funk. And I thought, well, I gotta do something, like download some YouTube videos of funk licks for piano and like put in a good Saturday doing that. And I love that that's what we all do, is we try to stretch ourselves. You know, it's not that you would say no, you just say, yes, I'll figure that out, because that's what we do as artists. But it was super fun. And to hear, I mean, that was an impossibly cool moment, him playing the drums. And I don't think there's been much Stevie Wonder in the lobby at Lyric. I thought it was a pretty cool moment for all of us.
You nailed that, Craig. I mean, you nailed it. And I was like, Craig, he's got something in him. It's just such, I mean, you know, I appreciate you so much as an artist, and you have that versatility and just that work ethic to try to master any style. And so for you, it's all easy. We've done everything from opera to art song to spirituals to American popular song. And so your fluidity in all those styles really just speaks for itself. But I remember the faces of the people in the audience there. And I think in the beginning they were like, Superstition. But by the end of it, everybody was in lockstep with us, and they appreciated the diversity of that programming. And so a program like we're going to do now as well brings diversity in it, and it's something that we know has been appreciated. So I'm happy about that.
Oh, you want to talk about the repertoire a little bit?
Yeah, so we have a number of different things, and it really starts with stuff we all like to sing. Yeah. You know, the songs I'll be singing myself, I'll be singing Mes-Amis from The Daughter of the Regiment, which is one of the pieces that I've sung for many, many years, and it's been important for me. I've debuted it in several different theaters around the world, and so it's something that's close to my heart. But also I'll be doing All Night, All Day, which is something extremely close to my heart, and I always dedicate it to my son Caleb, my 9-year-old autistic son. And so with that piece, it's something that I love to sing. I love to sing Daughter of the Regiment, and I love to sing spirituals. And so my contributions will be those two things. What about the stuff that Janae and Will is You know, Will's gonna sing Lulu's Back in Town, right?
He is going to sing Lulu's Back in Town. It should be fun. It's something that we did when he was a young artist here, and he really wanted to sing it again because we had a lot of fun. I love that for our artists in the Opera Center, we give them lots of different styles of music to sing. I think for American artists, featuring all the different kinds of music helps to connect the audience to the material. If they can hear someone sing a song that they can imagine themselves singing, and then hear someone sing Amaze Me in the way that you do so virtuosically, I think it helps them connect the dots and not make it seem like it's us and them, like the audience and the stage, but they get to know who you are and who we are as artists, which I think is the way going forward that we have to think about programming. So
well, I have to say, go ahead. I'm actually a bit jealous since you and I performed Lulu's Back in Time, and so Will gets to sing it this time. And I thought, Craig, why are you robbing me of this wonderful opportunity to sing Lulu's Back in Time? I'm just kidding. Well, I mean, you're absolutely right. This is the music that shaped us, and so yes, I've been studying classical music for many years, but our musical education had to do with the infusion of so many other styles. And so I think it's great, and you do such a great job as music director of the Ryan Opera Center to present all the concerts, you know, that you do that is so diverse, because I think it is really important that we really expand what it means to be a performing arts institute with the repertoire that we include. And I think it's great.
Absolutely. I feel like for most, oh, I shouldn't say for most, but for many North American artists, classical music is the crossover.
Yes.
Because, you know, I started playing by ear when I was a kid. My dad's family were all bluegrass pickers and players. And once I started studying piano formally, I mean, I took to it, I loved it, but it wasn't what I originally played. Right. And I feel like for lots of artists, it wasn't the music they started with. And the study it takes to perform classical music at the level that Larry Brownlee performs it's just a huge undertaking. But I feel like for us to shortchange ourselves and not look in the mirror and say, well, you know, there are lots of things that we can do and lots of important music that we can share. And thinking about what Janae and Will and Whitney have chosen for this concert, they all take music from their formative years and they want to share that with the audience, which I think is really important. Janae and Will chose gorgeous music by Sean Akpolo, who is a Wheaton College faculty member and Chicago area composer who I think is brilliant. I have to say, I had not played his music before. I'd been a fan of it, I'd heard it, and I thought it was great. And you know, he has this way of, I've not talked to him about this, and maybe he would not agree with this, but I find his music to kind of be a beautiful mix of Messiaen and gospel. I get the feeling that he loves Messiaen, but it's like playing what he writes, which sounds so wonderfully gauzy, and you know, it's complicated music, and it, you know, they made me practice. Oh my goodness, like so much practicing.
The irony of that, right?
Yeah, exactly. But the music, you know, Will is going to sing a piece called Two Black Churches, with poetry that references two AME church bombings, and it's an incredible piece, and it's brutal. I mean, it's the kind of thing that's not easy to listen to, but it shouldn't be easy to listen to, and it's something that I think is important for all of us to recognize, and to have a composer of this stature and this skill write a piece of music like this, I think is incredible. And I'm thrilled that we'll get to share this with the audience. And Janae picked his setting of Ride On King Jesus, which she recorded for an album a couple of years ago and has not sung since.
Oh, wow.
And so I thought it was great that we share that. It has kind of it's kind of a funk beat to it, which is kind of fun. So it's kind of complicated, but it's really incredible as a setting. And I thought, you know, why not include this music by a brilliant Chicago composer? Because, you know, he's a member of our community in Chicago.
Yeah. Well, I'm really excited about the piece that you have arranged and you have been doing with Whitney. Oh. You know, oh my gosh, I have heard her sing it a couple times, and it is so moving. And I think it speaks to people's hearts in a way that other music just can't. Because she sings it with so much passion, so much intention, and it just touches the heart's core. Don't you agree?
I totally agree. I felt honored to get to, you know, she first sang this with me on Beyond the Aria when she appeared a couple of years ago. And she asked her father to play bass and her brother to play tambourine. And her dad came down to Lyric, and we had the most fun rehearsal in a room with a bass and an amp, and you could see people looking in the room to see what was going on in there. And it was really special to get to be a part of that. You know, Whitney lost her father about
Yes.
a month and a half ago.
Yes.
And when we first met to rehearse this last week, you know, there were tears from both of us right away to think about what that was and what it meant to her. But the way she sings His Eyes on the Sparrow and My Tribute together is just, I just feel honored to be included in it. And the first time we did it at Beyond the Aria, the audience went crazy. And and I feel like for our audience, again, to get to hear that is really important.
Yeah, but it's music. It's music with heart,
Mm-hmm.
and it's something that she actually she sings from a position of, my gosh, just touching something inside herself that makes the music come to life. So I'm not shocked by the fact that people were moved by it in Beyond the Aria, because when we did the concert last year, people gave her a standing ovation, and it was something that was deeply felt. But I have to be honest, I'm excited to hear the young kids sing, and I know that they're going to bring some repertoire. I know that Eric from South Africa is going to bring a Zulu song. Isn't that correct?
Yes. I first met Eric, Lunga Eric Hallam, in Zimbabwe a couple of years ago when I was there to play a concert. And he was introduced to me by my dear friend Hlengiwe Mkwanazi, who was in the program here and now is living again in Cape Town. And we met, and I thought, this is a special voice. And truly, his hero idol of all idols is Larry Brownlee. And so just the idea that he would be able to share a concert with you was just, it was incredibly meaningful to him. We got him here to Chicago a few days ago through an incredible effort by our lyric opera team to get him here. There's only one flight a month now between South Africa and the United States. And they got him on it, which was pretty incredible.
Oh,
but he's going to sing a song that I first heard there. I played it with him on this recital that we did, and it's incredibly beautiful. And I'm so happy to share some Zulu music as well with our audience for this concert. I think that's also an important part of the inclusivity of it all. He is so special. But these guys idolize you. Martin Luther Clark, same, like wonderful tenor, performing a piece written by a classmate of his at North Texas, which is, I think, very special. Based on Langston Hugh's poetry, and really, really gorgeous music. And then Leroy Davis is going to sing two settings of the Lawrence Hope, two pieces from the Lawrence Hope songs of Harry Burleigh, which I think are beautiful, beautiful songs, incredibly well-crafted songs and poetry that he clearly identified with and used to spectacular effect.
Yeah, well, it's been, as we decided to plan this concert, and you and I had several conversations about the music, and we talked to Anthony about the intention and what we really wanted to promote. Again, this idea of singing music that we love and that connects, and even music that is special to, I think, to the community during these times, these difficult times. And I think all of these pieces are meant to do something, and to try to plan a virtual concert, where you don't get the palpable feeling of being in an audience or a theater. I think it is important, it's necessary to make sure that the emotional impact does go, beyond the screen that we're, the camera that we're recording with. Yes?
Absolutely, 100%. When we were recording this past week, it struck me how many people in the room were moved by hearing live music again. Many of those people had not heard people make music in the same room together in 4 months. And at Lyric, it was wonderful to look and see friends from all the different departments at Lyric that were in the room far away or outside the door, intently listening, because they hadn't had the opportunity for a long time. For me, it was the same, to finally be in the same room as people. I mean, I have to say, sorry to be really honest about it, I've enjoyed the whole virtual video experience and making tracks and sending them. It's been fun with lots of people, but nothing can replicate the feeling of being in the same room with someone, making music and feeling that. And I will say, I felt it in a big way this past week, and I cannot wait for the two of us to get in the room again for the first time in months and months and months, and finally get to make some music. And I hope the audience, I'm sure they'll be able to feel that right away. It will not feel like many of the other virtual things that have been happening. It will feel like real live music making, conversations between the artists that are, unspoken, but that are musical. And that's what we're all here for, and at least what I've been missing so much in the past few months.
It's important that we present that, because people talk about live music, and I know that there is a lot of uncertainty about what post-COVID will look like, but I just have a belief in my heart that people will flock to the theaters. People will want to be amongst their peers and their friends just to experience the special thing that nothing can be replicated like live music does. And so to be able to experience that thing that's happening in the moment, that's being created, that's being thought out in that very place, is so special. And that's what we hope, that we can give people just something to whet their appetites, to hold them over until we can all be back amongst each other, sharing and loving classical music that we do.
And it's going to be soon. I can feel it. I think this is a start of lots of in-person things, and how that looks in the various other ways, who knows? But I love that we get to present something happening in real time with us in the same room together, just to get everyone excited.
Well, I cannot wait to be on stage with you again, my friend Craig.
Oh, me either. I've missed it. I've missed you, and I've missed hearing your voice and being together, and I couldn't be more grateful to you for helping to plan and to host this concert. We love you here at Lyric in the Rhine Opera Center. As apart from my own love for you, Chicago loves you, and we're thrilled to have you back.
Well, likewise, love you too, and I can't wait.
Yeah, me either.